After the successful release of Batman Arkham Asylum in 2009 on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, everyone had big expectations for Rocksteady's second Batman game, Batman Arkham City, and they definitely delivered. Batman Arkham City improves and builds on all the game mechanics from the first game, such as gliding and combat, as well as continuing with the story after the events of Arkham Asylum. It gives us some great new characters, whilst also including the ones that we know and love. In 2011, they didn't just raise the bar for superhero games, they completely redefined it and gave us a sequel to Batman Arkham Asylum that was darker, bigger and way more brutal. The game begins with an art piece of Cain and Abel and maybe foreshadows something at the end of the game. Here we see some of Two-Face's thugs have come to try and unlock the safe behind the painting. They talk about being in Arkham City and suddenly someone appears at the window. Batman? Not quite, it's Catwoman. The first new character we see and actually get to play as in Batman Arkham City. Catwoman's fighting style is much different to Batman's. I'd be very surprised if Batman pulled out this move. Catwoman defeats the thugs and gets into the safe, however Two-Face catches her off guard.
Get your filthy paws off that now.
Now we switch back to the beginning of Arkham City, which is where inmates are being stored and kept in a massive prison. However, there's also innocent people inside who are currently in great danger. We see Bruce Wayne is leading a protest to try and stop all of the inmates from being stored in Arkham City and close it down, as well as all the chaos inside. However, some Arkham City guards come and take him away. Now it's time to meet Hugo Strange, who is the man behind Arkham City, and we also find out knows the true identity of Batman. He tortures Bruce quite violently before we manage to escape and walk through the guards into the chaos outside. We meet Jack Ryder and another person who has been taken and protect them from a massive group of thugs. However, one of the thugs manages to hit us from behind and we see Penguin come and give us a warm welcome to Arkham City. We get the opportunity to give him one back, defeat his thugs and make our way to the rooftop where our Batman outfit is delivered to us. Just take a moment to appreciate how clean the costume looks. This will change very soon. Catwoman is being held hostage by Two-Face in the court, so we glide over there and find an army of thugs waiting within the building, as well as Catwoman tied over a boiling vat of acid.
You certainly know how to keep a girl hanging, Harv. Hey, have you had some work done?
The thugs are defeated, but Batman is shot by Two-Face.
Overruled.
Two-Face goes to shoot Catwoman after she manages to escape, however Batman, who isn't actually dead, captures him. Batman and Catwoman have a chat about what's going on and we notice a little circle on Catwoman's head before we quickly move her out of the way of a bullet. We use detective mode to track the trajectory of the bullet and find that it has come from the church. When we head over to the church, we find Harley Quinn and her thugs and we give her a nice warm welcome as well. We then have our first stealth scenario and save the hostages that have been captured and held inside the church. After we make our way up to the top of the tower, we see who's been behind this. I think you can guess, the Joker.
Well, look who it is. I haven't seen you for... How long has it been? Let's see. There was an asylum, some monsters, and oh, that's right. You left me to die.
We narrowly escape before the building is exploded. And now it's time to track down where the Joker is hiding. We track his location to the steel mill and dive straight into the middle of it. We make our way into the mill and take down Joker's thugs and eventually get to where he is hiding. Unfortunately, it seems the Joker has died, but something doesn't seem right to Batman.
Surprise!
All of a sudden, the real Joker comes from behind and gasses us before Harley knocks us unconscious. Everything fades to black and we come back to Catwoman, who is currently heading back to her apartment to get her equipment, where she finds some of Two-Face's thugs waiting for her, and let's just say we make them regret their decision. Then we head over to Poison Ivy's lair and we see that she has mind controlled some thugs, and when we head inside, she doesn't seem too keen to talk to us.
Oh, come on. You're not seriously going to hold that against me forever, are you?
You killed them all!
They were just flowers, Ivy. I'll buy you some new ones.
And send some more mind controlled thugs after us, whilst also filling the room with poison. We defeat the thugs and manage to get to Ivy, but after speaking to her for a little bit, she captures us with her plants.
Not again.
Now we come back to Batman, who is waking up to find the Joker, who is looking very ill, talking about how the Titan he injected into him in Arkham Asylum is poisoning his blood and slowly killing him. Good thing it's not our problem. However, he tells us that he has injected his blood into us as well. Great. So now we're both having to look for a cure, which Joker tells us Mr. Freeze is trying to formulate, however, has not contacted him for a while. Joker kicks us out of the window, and we locate the coldest part of the city to try and find Mr. Freeze. We locate the coldest point of the city to be the old GCPD building, and once inside, we find that Freeze isn't there, but Penguin's thugs are, and interrogate one of them to tell us where Freeze is.
He's in the museum. Penguin's got him.
He tells us that Freeze is in the museum, and we head over there, and after destroying some of the generators, we are able to hack into the main entrance and make our way through and get jump scared by a T-Rex. Not something I thought I'd say when talking about a Batman game. We make our way through the museum and find a GCPD officer who has been captured, and he tells us that there are more officers inside that need help. And when getting further inside the museum, we eventually find Penguin, who has one of the officers with him.
Here you are, standing just where I want you.
He gets his thugs on us and disappears, and somehow he's got some Titan formula and has created his own Titan thug, but he's not quite right and kind of looks like me after lockdown. After defeating the thugs, we make our way into the aquarium, which has now been covered in ice, and we see that Penguin has stolen Mr. Freeze's ice gun. He also freezes one of the officers who is trying to escape him. Now we have to traverse across this thin ice to try and save the officers and get to the other side to Penguin. However, seems to be something lurking beneath the water, and if we make too much noise, it will know where we are. We save the officers and then get to meet Penguin's lovely little pet.
Sorry, Batman. Did I forget to mention my little friend down there?
Now going across the water is 10 times scarier. We then find Mr. Freeze's suit being guarded by some of Penguin's henchmen, and then we go to find Freeze, who is locked in a container decorated with beach decor, which is so cruel. We free him and ask him about the cure and how to disable his gun so we can go and defeat Penguin. He's hesitant at first, but he doesn't really have any other choice. We head over to the Iceberg Lounge, and safe to say Penguin gets what he deserves. However, he sets off some explosions, and we fall under the floor, where we find that Solomon Grundy is being kept. There's a boss battle, which takes place between Batman and Grundy. We have to use our explosive gel to destroy some power transmitters, which are charging Solomon. Grundy is defeated.
You can't kill him!
Sykes, he's immortal, so we continue to fight him and eventually stop him, as well as Penguin. I know Batman doesn't kill anyone, but he literally rips Grundy's organs out, so I'm not really too sure what's happening there. We head back to Mr. Freeze and get him back into his suit, and this is where he tells us that the cure doesn't work properly and needs a certain enzyme which cannot be found. Luckily for Batman, he knows someone who has lived for 600 years who will have the enzyme needed for the cure in his blood, and that is Ra's al Ghul. However, a ninja that has been trapped in one of the cases has been listening to our conversation and breaks free as soon as we mention Ra's name.
Blasphemer! You're not worthy to speak of the great Ra's al Ghul!
Luckily for us, when she broke the glass, she gets cut and left some blood on the floor, which we can use to track her using detective mode. And then when we find her, we put a tracking device on her shoulder so she can lead us straight to Ra's. This is when we are also introduced to Robin, who was helping out in Gotham but came to give us the line launcher, which enables us to go into the sewers and under Gotham. Through the sewers, we find a little room with an Easter egg hinting that someone has been investigating Killer Croc and hints that he is in this sewers as well. Down here we also find some of Joker's thugs who have gotten access to some military grade weaponry. However, they're not the priority right now as Batman is getting very ill and doesn't have much time left. After dealing with the thugs, we can now head into Wonder City, which is the old city which the new Gotham has been built on top of and has been left to be forgotten. Down here is where we find the secret access to where the ninja went and meet Talia al Ghul, the daughter of Ra's al Ghul and Batman's former lover. Talia sees how sick we are.
Your face! What happened?
I'm here to take my place at your side.
And allows us to take the demon trial. This is where we drink the blood of the demon, which heals us at least for a few hours to give us more time to find a cure. After completing the demon trials, we can now face Ra's al Ghul in person, which is when he tells us to kill him.
Kill me. Replace me as that of the demon. It is your destiny.
I will never kill. Not even you.
What?
However, as we are Batman, and we never kill, we deny his request, which makes Ra's really pissed off. He jumps into the Lazarus pit, turning him from the sick, frail man he was before, into a younger and much stronger version of himself. Now Batman faces off against Ra's at his strongest, but the blood of the demon is still affecting our mind and takes us to a sandy arena where we fight off some ninjas and see Ra's turned into a massive sand version of himself and fires shurikens and swords at us. We have to fire our electric charge at him, which allows us to get in close and beat him down. Ra's is then defeated, and his last resort is to take Talia hostage to try and get Batman to kill him, which shows how much the Lazarus pit has messed with his mind over time. We throw a batarang around and hit him in the head. I don't know how he didn't see this coming, but we warn him that if he ever uses the Lazarus pit again, we'll be back for him. And now it's time to head back to the surface, where we overhear that the warden of Arkham Asylum, Quincy Sharp, has been locked inside Arkham City as well. We find and interrogate Quincy to find out that Strange had bribed him to allow him to experiment on inmates and set up Arkham City, and said that he would help him with his campaign to be mayor.
The scum of Gotham needed to be punished. It would be my legacy.
Strange has been removing anyone with evidence against him and sending them into Arkham City. Enjoy your legacy.
Oracle also tells us how bad our health is, but she can shut up, what does she know? And she convinces us to go back to Freeze and get the cure for our and Joker's sickness. However, when we get there, Freeze decides he's had enough of our orders and breaks one of the 2 cures made.
Order. This is not a time for negotiation.
Because the Joker has taken his wife Nora and he's really pissed off about it. We then have a boss battle with Freeze where we have to find ways to sneak up and attack him. However, he is following our footsteps, and every time we use something to attack him, he learns and makes sure we can't do it again. Batman defeats Freeze and unlocks the safe to get the other cure. However, someone has broken in and taken it. I wonder who. We then head outside and rescue the reporter Vicky Vale, who has just been shot down in a helicopter, before heading over to the steel mill to get the cure of Joker. The way we went in before is now blocked, so we have to find an alternative route under the building, and we use an ice device that Mr. Freeze gave us to make ourselves a boat to go across the rapid flowing water. We make our way through the steel mill and find the room where Joker and Harley Quinn were staying. We also find Harley's old suit from Arkham Asylum, and we eventually get to the Joker, who doesn't look great at all, but all of a sudden is completely healed when he turns around. Something strange is going on.
It looks like I need to teach you some respect.
There's nothing you can teach me, Joker.
Oh, come on. There's always something to learn. Let's start with getting your ass kicked 101.
We fight through Joker and his thugs, and a Titan as well, to finally get Joker one-on-one. Unfortunately, the roof falls down on us, and Joker is just about to kill us, before Talia comes in and offers Joker the Lazarus pit to spare Batman's life. Luckily, she puts a tracker on her boob so we can find her later. Joker sets off some explosions, and we cut back to Catwoman, who is currently sneaking into one of the vaults in Arkham City. This is where she finds that Batman needs help. Now you can make a decision to either leave Arkham City with the cash and the game will actually end,
Screw him.
or go and save Batman. Catwoman's morals get the better of her, and she goes and helps Batman get free from the rubble.
Figured you could use my help.
You're right. I think I chipped a nail back there.
Batman tries to go and save Talia straight away, as she is currently with the Joker and in danger. However, Alfred advises him that that would be very selfish, as there are hundreds of people who need to be saved, as Protocol 10 is now currently in place, which means that all the criminals in Arkham City are being executed by missiled helicopters.
I'm sorry, but deep down, you know I'm right.
Safe to say, Alfred knows what he's talking about, and we head to the bottom of Wonder Tower, which is where Hugo Strange is hiding. We also find an inmate hiding behind the court and decide he's been through enough and decide to leave him. Now we have to get the password for the entrance to the Wonder Tower from one of the helicopters currently trying to kill us. After getting the password, we eliminate the snipers waiting for us outside the building and make our way inside. When inside, we see some guards beating up some inmates, and after fighting them, Strange appears on the big screen and talks about how he's doing a good thing for Gotham and society. However, we don't care, and we're still going to end him. We also stumble across the room where Bruce Wayne was tortured. And we head underground to get to the elevator, which is being protected by Strange's guards, and eventually make our way up to one of the highest parts of Wonder Tower. Here we get to see a great view of the whole of Arkham City and even a little bit of Gotham. When we get to the top of the tower, we are greeted by a lot of guards and Hugo Strange himself. Now it's time for the face-off with him after all this time.
You have not won. You cannot win. I, Hugo Strange, am your successor. I have saved Gotham.
Hugo talks about how this is just the beginning for him, right before getting stabbed straight in the chest. Looks like it wasn't the beginning. And he is stabbed by none other than Ra's al Ghul, who is the one who set up Strange to create Arkham City. But the Batman was better than him, so he was unworthy to take Ra's place as the leader of the assassins. In Hugo's last breath, he activates a self-destruct sequence, and Batman and Ra's jump outside right before the tower explodes. Batman tries to grab Ra's, but Ra's does a 300 IQ move. Like, what did he think was going to happen? And is now dead, supposedly. Now it's time to go and defeat the Joker and save Talia, who are currently waiting for us in the old movie theatre. When we get there, Talia actually ends up stabbing the Joker and taking the cure, and tells us that it's now all over. However, Batman doesn't think so, and starts having Vietnam flashbacks, and realises what's going on. All of a sudden, the real Joker, who looks like he's on death's door, not cured, shoots and game ends Talia. Who was the other Joker then? It turns out Clayface and the Joker have teamed up to take down Batman. There are some hints at this throughout the game, such as when we fought Joker in the funhouse. If we went in detective mode, we could have seen that he actually has no skeleton, which makes sense if he's made out of clay. Clayface takes the cure, and we now have a boss battle with him, where we need to dodge his attacks and fire ice blasts to freeze him, which allows us to take the sword and chop him up. During the battle, Joker blows up the floor, and now we're taken back to the Lazarus pit. Clayface splits into little clay monsters, but we manage to freeze him again, and this time Batman jumps inside and cuts him from the inside out, ending him. Finally, we can drink the cure, and as we do, Joker tries to jump into the Lazarus pit, but luckily Batman manages to stop him just as he tries to. We wake up and can't see the Joker. We hold what's left of the cure for his disease in our hands, and Batman contemplates whether he should end all the suffering Joker will cause in the future or save him. All of a sudden, Joker stabs Batman in the arm, causing him to drop the cure, making Joker's death inevitable.
Are you happy now?
Do you want to know something funny? Even after everything you've done, I would have saved you.
You know, that actually is pretty funny.
As he slowly passes away, he keeps an evil smile on his face. I can definitely see why this game was known as the best in the Arkham series. I think Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight are great games, but this one definitely takes the cake. We're also not going to mention Origins or Gotham Knights because they weren't even made by Rocksteady and definitely aren't as good. Now there are also some characters who I haven't mentioned but do appear in side missions, such as Bane, who gets us to destroy all of the Titan formulas that still reside in Arkham City, and also the Mad Hatter, who invites us into his lair, and we have a really weird trippy dinner party with a bunny mask, and it's really weird. But they can stay in Arkham City for now. I think personally, this is definitely my favourite game out of the series, and definitely gives me the most nostalgia when I was playing it. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if I should do a video on Batman Arkham Knight and Asylum as well, and maybe even Origins, but I'm not doing Gotham Knights. No way.